Gong, give me. Good evening, Hare Krishna, everyone. Very, very happy to see you. Lovely people of Conwy. My name is Bhaktivedanta Sadhu Maharaj, otherwise Sadhu Maharaj, otherwise just Maharaj. No problem. So, first time here. This process is called Bhakti Yoga, or Yoga of Love and Devotion. So we'll speak more, but now we'll start with some auspicious invocation. You have songbooks in hands. Page 1, we will sing some mantras in Sanskrit. Jai Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharika Giridhari Radha Lalit Madhav Juki Jai Radharaman Bihari Radhanad Bihari Radhanan Bihari Juki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mahan Juki Jai Radha Damadara Dashyama Sundara Gokulananda Radharaman Juki Jai Krishna Balara Maharaj Ki Jai Rupan Gaudiya Guru Varga Ki Jai Pramaraditam Guru Padma Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Okay, now we can. Now we can start. We can start together. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Tinamine. Now see what page we are at. Namo Vishnu Krishna Prishta Bhaktivedanta Swami. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Give more song book. Namo Vishnu Padaya Acharya Simharupine Shishimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Iti Namine Atimartya Charitraya Svashritanancha Paline Jiva Dukhe Sadartaya Shri Premadayine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhana Videvi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kisharaya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhi Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surato Pango Ramamamanda Matergati Matsarasva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Dvrindaranya Kalpadrumado Srimat Ratnagara Simhasanasto Shishi Radha Shila Govinda Devo Preshtalibi Sevyamana Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamshi Bhata Tatastita Karshan Vinur Sunar Gopir Gopinata Shri Estuna Vrindaye Tulasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cham Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavatyay Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadatara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrin. Now attention please. You see this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra written on the poster, so we can chant it together 3 or 4 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So again, a warm welcome to everyone. Hare Krishna. Good evening, and we're very happy to have everyone. So again, my name is Bhaktivedanta Sadhu Maharaj, otherwise Sadhu Maharaj, otherwise Maharaj, no problem. And your names are? Max and Sophie, nice to Gary, Barbara, and Vanessa for sure, and Nadine. Nice to see everyone. So we will basically start our class. Yes. So yes, because on the way we'll sing more. We hope you have enjoyed singing with us. So on the way we'll sing some more songs, devotional songs. Agyana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadatara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So first of all, my dandavats, my respectful obeisances to my Gurudev, Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and my instructing spiritual master, Shiksha Gurudev, Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, and to all dear devotees and guests in Conwy, Wales. Very happy to be in your picturesque land. First time, actually second time chronologically, but first time as a featured representative, let us say, on a mission. So I reside in Vrindavan, India, most of the time. To go and share with you and everyone else the wonderful path of bhakti. So bhakti yoga means love and devotion. Every living entity has that propensity to love. You cannot take that away because that's the organic part of the essence of our life. We want to love someone. But since in this material world everything is upside down, Why? Because you can see in this map of cosmology, material world is just a part of creation. See, it's a bit blackish now. Also outside, it's all black, night. So sometimes day, but mostly night in the winter. So this material world is like this, and the upper sphere, that is spiritual world. That is the eternal spiritual world, about which Vedas, the ancient scriptures, proclaim that that is the supreme abode. Shriya Kanta Kanta Paramapurusha Kalpatarava Drumabhumish Chintamani Gunamayi Toyamamritam Kathangangam Natyam Gamanamapi Vamshi Priyasaki Chidanandam Jyoti Paramapita Taswadyamapi Cha Sayatrakshi Rabdi Sravati Surabhi Vyascha Sumahan Nimeshardakyo Va Vrajatina Hyatrapi Samaya Bhajeshveta Dvipam Tamahamaha Golokamitiyam Vidantaste Santakshiti Viralachara Katipaye. In these two Vedic mantras we just quoted, it's said that the Supreme Personality, we call him Krishna. So many other traditions give other names, and so many names actually. Krishna, Rama, Madhusudana, Radhakanta, Gopikanta, Govinda, Gopinath, so many. They belong to the Supreme Person. And you can see here, this is Krishna, and this is the Supreme Energy, along with him on the left side. Her name is Radha. So Vanessa has visited Vrindavan, so she knows very well that in the spiritual abode, everybody glorifies the names of the Supreme and his energy. In this material world, however, there are like embassies of the spiritual world. So Vrindavan is one of them. Formerly, this is another city in India, another town, maybe 100,000 residents. But actually, that's the territory of spiritual world. Everything there is permeated with the atmosphere of spiritual worlds. And perfect souls are not living in this world when they reside in Vrindavan, but they experience fully the eternal atmosphere of Vrindavan in the spiritual world. So in spiritual world has those things typical for this material world. There is eternal now, and that eternal existence, eternal now, is ever increasing and becoming more. Ecstasy is going deeper and deeper and deeper, and there's no end to that. It's very, very difficult for us to imagine infinity because we're from limited X, Y, Z. That's it. We live in this material world and we have changes in our life: birth, death, old disease, all these changes. So every goes birth, then getting to maturity, then creating side products, children, and then dwindling and death. It's always repeating, like in a circle. So it's never-ending process. It may seem it's never-ending, but the process of yoga, or the process of union, yoga means union, with the Supreme, by different methods, we took up the path of bhakti yoga, means by love and devotion, puts an end to this seemingly endless journey of the soul. So the journey of the soul must terminate in spiritual world, because the soul is completely spiritual, nothing material. Right now we're thinking we're English, or rather Welsh, isn't it? We're thinking we're black and white. We're thinking that we're better than others. Definitely, there's false ego, such feeling, So we feel our superiority, we feel our importance. And then, oops, the gong, the bell goes, and that's the end. You have to die. I don't want to die. Well, you have to, you must. You cannot protest against the laws of material nature. The laws of material nature, your great countryman Newton and others, they were investigating that, and they understood that there's an end. You cannot go beyond. So those scientists who very much inquisitive and is also especially religious. They inquire about what's behind, what's beyond death. What is that? What is that? What is that? So in this material world, therefore, everything is limited. And in spiritual world, there's infinity. So it's very difficult for us to imagine infinity because we're from the limited world. Also, eternity, another thing. There's no time, no space, we say. How no time? How no space? We're from the world of time. It starts ticking, and the last tick means you have to change your position. You have to go into another body with, on the vehicle of your subtle body, means your emotions, desires, and it's carrying you towards a new body according to your level of consciousness. So, but in spiritual, there's no time and no space. So no space. We're thinking, how come no space? We took how many hours? 5 hours of train journey to come here from Watford this afternoon. Well, yeah, but we're supposed to be able to fly, to say, because we're practicing yoga. Well, we're still in these material bodies. Not necessarily these skills come at once, so it requires some training. But a perfected yogi can travel very, very easily, instantaneously, from this world to the other world. So we already mentioned those yogis situated in the holy places, and they're actually not in this material world, but rather in spiritual world. In that same way as you come to an Indian embassy in London, for example, and you want to go to India, but you're already in India because you're in the territory of India. De facto and de jure, both, that embassy is the territory of India, although it's in a British town, the city, in the street, and etc., etc. They're using British police, British water, etc., etc., British electricity. But actually, that's India. So, although we're in these bodies, we can be situated in a holy abode, and depending on our level of consciousness, we can be actually situated in spiritual world, or we can be candidates for being permanently situated in spiritual world. So that's the practice of yoga. So by the practice of yoga, we can go from material world to spiritual world. In spiritual world, everything is permeated by the principle Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means eternity, Chit means cognizance, means knowledge, and Ananda means bliss. So everything there, I forgot my long pointer tomorrow, 1.5 meter long. So anyway, you can see the atmosphere, and you can see a variety of spiritual planets. So in all of those planets, Supreme Personality of Godhead and his personal energy are residing and attracting so many devotees, so many perfected souls. So that existence is full of Sat Chidananda, means eternity, knowledge, and bliss. In this world, no eternity, as you know. Clock is ticking. No knowledge. What's that verse? Nasav Rishir, Matav Nabhinna. That philosopher is not a philosopher whose conception is not different from the conception of another philosopher. And like in boxing or any competition, he wants to defeat that philosopher by his logic and arguments. That's what's going on, eternal competition of thoughtful people, mental speculators of all kinds. The truth is like this. No, the truth is like that. No, our conception is more advanced. And, okay, we're the champ. We are the champ, So they're singing, but actually another guy will come and take that position. I'm the champion. He will be the champion tomorrow, and they will beat down this one who is singing happily, I'm the champion today. So, but in spiritual world, on the contrary, there's no competition because all permeating love everywhere. And if it's seemingly the residents of spiritual world, they have as if contrary moods. That is actually like two sides of the same coin. On one side of the coin, there's Her Majesty or His Majesty, whatever. On the other side, there's something else from that country. So seemingly different things, but actually they fulfill the whole picture. They make it perfect. So in that same way, different varieties of moods in the service of the same personality, Supreme Personality, makes the whole picture full of harmony. So the spiritual world is filled with harmony. And this world, as you know, is full of disharmony. Well, certainly there are harmonious things, like beautiful music, beautiful pieces of arts, and the best achievements of humanity. There is. But Lord Krishna, if you heard about Bhagavad-gita, this wonderful book we'll be discussing today, says that all of those great representations of beauty as just a speck, a little spark of my beauty. So everything comes from spiritual world. Material world is actually like a perverted reflection. In the Vedas, in the ancient scriptures, Bhagavad-gita is like a short encyclopedic dictionary. Who of you have heard about Bhagavad-gita? You've heard. Who of you have read? No. Okay, this nice gesture. In India they show like this. Like this, it's not so good, not very much. So you show like this, I show like this. So so in Bhagavad-gita, this material world is mentioned as a perverted reflection of a tree. There's a tree. That tree is actual reality of spiritual world. And we see, because our eyes are down, we see only the reflection in the water. Sometimes when there's no wind and the water is calm, we can see the tree more or less clearly, but still upside down. So where there's a beginning, we think that's the end. And when there's the end, we're thinking it's the beginning. But that tree is very interesting because the roots are in spiritual world and the branches go down to this material world. So those branches are actually Vedic methods, Vedic prescriptions, Vedic mantras, all methods to achieve the Supreme given to the humanity. So we have to look at the original tree, lift our eyes like this, raise our vision. And therefore, by hearing about the Vedic wisdom, by studying the Vedic books, we are able to transfer our vision, transfer our glance from the reflection, which is not the original tree, obviously, to the original tree. So, in this material world, also, there is manifestation of love, which is actually lust. People call it love, but actually that is lust. Means sense of possessiveness. I want to possess. So when people say, I love you, actually that means I love me. But I love me so much that I'm engaging you, and you're so much instrumental. I cannot be without you, because without you, I cannot love me as much as I want. So you're so instrumental, that's why I love you, because you give me pleasure. So that is called exploitation. This world, material world, is the world of exploitation. There are 14 planetary systems. 14 planetary systems. All of them, in Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, places of suffering. Yes. So our planet belongs to number 8, level number 8 out of 14. So this is the medium position. There are demigods, many extremely wise personalities who have very deep realization, extremely advanced intelligence, understanding of Vedic wisdom, etc., etc. But also there, a lot of enjoyment. And generally when people go to paradise, they go to that abode of enjoyment, Svarga. It's called Svarga Loka. So they enjoy there, but they have to return. Therefore, heaven is not eternal. And those people who are very sinful, they go, from Christianity, they go to Christian hell, and there they're being fried alive, burned oil, etc., etc. Then they have to return also through some inauspicious bodies like dogs, cats, etc. They return to human body again. So that is going on eternally. So in those 14 planetary systems, there's no happiness even in the higher planets. There, the residents have wonderful bodies which are spreading aroma like lotus, and no need of any perfumes. That's the reality of our planet. We need so many chemical things for good odor, nice odor. But they're aromatic and amazing, and we cannot really imagine the level of enjoyment there. So much. But that is not the place of happiness, because they have to return here. For example, children there are born from flowers, and ladies and men means Gandharvas, and Gandharvas means heavenly singers, and Apsaras, the heavenly dancers, ladies. They enjoy for millions of years according to earthly estimation, and no side effects, like no children, no need of contraception or anything. So they are so happy, and at the end the lady somehow or other reveals a child from flowers like this. But it's anyway, and then she passes away. Then the garland starts dwindling. Your time is over, like this. You've enjoyed a lot, and the garland starts dwindling at the end. And also Gandharvas, the he demigods, they return this planet. So you can see on this planet so many demigod-like people. So they must have returned. They may be genius musicians, like Mozart, from 4 years of age. Amazing genius. And painters and different talented people must have been from those planets, etc., etc. But this is not the final, achievement, not the final achievement at all. This is a part of that circle called samsara, means material life. Heavenly planets, also material. Even the highest planet of Lord Brahma, he is the constructor of our universe. You can see one universe. There are many, many universes here. Trillions of universes, actually, according to Vedic cosmology. So in each universe there's Brahma. Brahma, he's the constructor of each and every universe. He does all the practical work, like managing director of a building company or whatever. So he does that. And then finally, he also must die. His lifespan is just fantastic. You cannot write that number on calculator, not enough space. Oh, huge amount of time. I don't remember, I'm a bad mathematician, always forget figures, but like huge amount of time. His one day equals 8,640,000,000 years, one day. There are 360 days in a year and 100 years, so you can 8,640,000,000 multiplied by 360 multiplied by 100. So you can see that no calculator will accommodate such a number. Still, he has to die. He's a very advanced. Brahma is a post, like he's number one resident of this material world, and of this universe, and he's the creator. In different traditions, like Greek, Roman, that post was also mentioned. When I come to Poland, I'm shown by devotee. I know some Polish also, one of my languages. So they once took me to a place where there was a statue of four-headed Brahma. Four-headed Brahma. They call him Shvetovid. Shvetovid means Shvanti means holy, and Vid means Vidya means to know. So he is holy and he is full of knowledge. That is Brahma. So in those traditions, and one devotee, Polish devotee, lady, showed me Shvetovid, the wooden Shvetovid, four-headed, from her grandmother, original. So they still have that pagan. I come from Lithuania. Lithuania has very deep also. Pro-Vedic means pagan, so-called pagan. It's Pro-Vedic tradition. Lithuania was baptized last in Europe only 600 years ago, 650 already years ago. So anyway, so people are actually, these people in Europe, they are Pro-Vedic historically. They have come from India. That is large. Anyway, it's a big topic. I don't want to prove anything. Just it's a fact which is mentioned in many places. So therefore, this pro-Vedic culture became degraded in time. Then monotheistic religions came: Christianity, Islam, etc. They were baptized by force, etc., etc. But well, that's good, and we don't say anything about the methods, etc. But well, many good things. We don't say, we don't criticize, but we want to stress that the history of these nations, European nations, they are Vedic, definitely, because 5,000 years ago, the whole planet was Vedic, and the ruler was the ruler of the whole planet, one emperor of the whole planet. So the Vedas say that the last such emperors were about more than 5,000 years ago. Maharaj Yudhishthira, the hero of Mahabharata, and his brothers, and then Maharaj Parikshit, and then Janamejaya, etc. But then the line became more and more degraded because 5,000 years ago, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, Kali Yuga, started. So those ages, they change each other. Like first morning, then daytime, then evening, then night. So in the same way, first Satya Yuga comes. Satya Yuga means golden age. After golden age, silver age comes, Treta Yuga. Then copper age, Dvapara Yuga. And then Kali Yuga, or iron age. So this is like night. People become more and more degraded, and they're not able and have no intention to perform any spiritual practice. They're thinking, what is that? Why is that? We need just to eat, sleep, and enjoy, merry life. That's it. We want nicer facilities, nicer food, nicer, conditions for the body, different kinds. They're into that. But death is waiting. Death will come tomorrow. And after death, who knows what you've committed in this lifetime. So this process of, I've said many things, just an introduction. So this process of Bhakti Yoga is meant to put an end to suffering. And birth, death, old age, disease, all those things will finish, because we, in the process of Bhakti Yoga, or Yoga of Love and Devotion, are developing our spiritual body. We have mentioned already the structure of our material body, more or less. So gross body, we're currently in, and subtle body. Gross body consists of 5 material elements, mostly. In this planet, there's element of earth, that's our leading element. Also water, there's 80% of water, how much in the body. And some fire, also fire helps digestion. Ether, air, all those things in the body. But the body will finish soon. 10 years, 20, 50, probably I'll be finished in about 30, 40 years, I think so. My body, not me, my body. But then a subtle body means your emotions, your feelings, your desires will take you to another body. If your feelings, emotions, desires were material, then you go to another material body. If your emotions become fully spiritual because your body becomes spiritual, then you achieve spiritual body. That's a very, very high level of spiritual advancement. But that's a gradual process. How to develop our spiritual body. So in Satya Yuga, in the Golden Age, people were performing meditation massively. That was the age, Golden Age, when there was no sin at all. No sinful activity. Now sinful activity is a norm of life, like drinking beer, eating cow meat. Cow is like a mother. I hope most of you are vegetarian. I hope so. So cow is like a mother, one of 7 mothers. Atma Mata Guru Maitri Brahmani Rajapatnika Dhenu Datritata Prithvi Saptaita Matara Smritaha. Vedas say 7 mothers. Your own mother, mother of Raja, what's it? Atma Mata Guru Maitri, mother of your guru, a wife of Brahmana, means a high range priest. Yes, then a wife of the queen, a wife of the king, queen, Raja Patnika. Dhenu means cow, a wet nurse giving birth to children, and Mother Earth. So 7 mothers. So if you commit violence towards one or more, very inauspicious result will come according to karma. You know karma. Karma means activity. So according to activity, you receive the result. And first of all, war will come for killing cows. That's direct karmic reaction, unfortunately. So we can see nowadays. So, so in Kali Yuga, in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the dark age of Kali, yes, sin is normal life. Sin is normal life. So the process of spiritual realization in Satya Yuga, in golden age, was to meditate, and people were massively going to spiritual world by meditation. It was massively direct, no sinful activities, no pious activities, also full absorption in the Supreme Lord. So at the end of life, their consciousness was completely spiritual, and spiritual bodies were manifesting very quickly. So then Silver Age came. This is like daytime. Daytime is less fresh than the morning, isn't it? In the daytime, so much movement, so many already passionate activities, etc. Business, there's that. So in that same way, in Silver Age, people were not able to meditate in a stable way, so they were performing fire sacrifices. By fire sacrifice, they could achieve any result. If the sacrifice, Vedic fire sacrifice, was performed by a qualified priest, then the result was just coming from the fire sacrifice immediately from the fire. For example, a king wanted to have a son, so that son was coming out of sacrifice, already grown up, like 16, a daughter, etc. Like in Drita, what's his name? Drishtadyumna and Draupadi, in Mahabharata. They came from fire sacrifice. So then people became more sinful, and Copper Age started. So the method was worshipping deities in the temple. Here are the deities you can see in Indian temples, so many deities. But then Kali age came. The age of Kali means quarrel and hypocrisy. People became so much degraded. They cannot meditate, cannot perform fire sacrifice, cannot worship the deities, cannot do anything. Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda, Bhagya, Upadrata. They are lazy. Sumanda, Matayo means they are devoid of good fortune, misled, devoid of good fortune, and always disturbed. So for such people, what is the method? Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevalam, kalo nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatina anyatha. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Repeat it thrice. And chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, repeat it thrice. 3 times repeat it. In Vedic tradition, if you repeat something in school for 3 times, students repeat. That means it's very important to learn. So in this verse it said, no other way, no other way, no other way. Chanting of the name, chanting of the name, chanting of the name. So by chanting of the holy name, we achieve everything. The holy name is the beginning, the middle, and the end. But there's one secret. Before we sing the next song, there's one secret we want to share, we must share. The holy name must be heard from a bona fide spiritual master. If you happen to meet a bona fide spiritual master who is on spiritual platform, who has realized Vedic truths, who is actually best friend of all humanity, then your life is really successful. And you will not lack anything because you'll receive everything. Why? Because in spiritual sense, the holy name and the possessor of the name are the same. Binnatvam nama namino. There is no difference between Krishna and his name. In this world, for example, I can see Max, we can converse, we can be friends, but then I go somewhere to India and I remember, oh, there was Max from Conwy. So I have some mental image, but I cannot invoke Max in his all bodies like gross and subtle before me. I cannot. I'm not such mystic, you know. I cannot. So I need to take some machine, you know, dial some number, video, audio, everything. You know? This is the material. But because Max and myself, unfortunately, we have material bodies at the moment. Today I'm Sadhu Maharaj. Tomorrow, who I will be, I don't know. Max will go somewhere else, also will have another name. So we don't know what will happen. That's why situation is not perfect. But in the case of the holy name of the Supreme Lord, the possessor of the name is completely transcendental. Transcendental means he's spiritual. Transcendental means outside of the measurement of mind and senses. Yes. But when you chant the holy name, you can ask. You chant the holy name is completely spiritual. The possessor of the holy name is absolutely spiritual as well. So how, by chanting the name of this completely spiritual person, you will become completely spiritual? The answer is obvious. When you touch the fire, you become hot, or your hand will catch on fire anyway. So the quality will be the same. But we can say, but our bodies are material right now. How will our bodies become material? Ada Shri Krishna Namadina Gram Indriya. Krishna Mukesa Jiva do. So we have to turn towards Krishna. Turn towards the possessor of the name. That's the process of yoga. When we look directly at the object and completely concentrate, then the process is perfect. When we concentrate and we chant the name, and the name has been received from spiritual master, that's a great, great, great achievement. So spiritual master is non-different from Krishna himself. He's not Krishna, but he's so advanced that qualitatively, not quantitatively, qualitatively, he's non-different. This is like iron rod in the factory, you know, which is red hot. So by quality, already fire. By has a substance, still metal. Yeah? So body of the holy man, the spiritual master, is spiritual, although seemingly material, although seemingly, okay, flesh, bones, blood, all those things. But we speak, he speaks, we eat, he eats, like this. But qualitatively, huge difference. Whatever he does is completely spiritual. In that same way as the iron rod, which is red hot, is actually fire already, by quality. But by constitution, okay, so constitution remains because he wants to be in this world to help us. It's like the king, you know. The king sometimes visits, or president visits a jail, a city jail, you know, and he can make a speech for those criminal people, you know. Oh, criminal people, stop being criminal. Step on the path of righteousness, like this. So president or king can say. So guru, or pure representative of Krishna, can say in that same way, you know. So that's why he is interested to come to the jail, to spiritual, material world, which is like jail, and he's interested to help others. So first, can you sing for Gurudev? Yeah. So, or you want me to sing? You're too tired. Shri Guru Charana Padma, you sing. Take this. So Purushottam will sing Shri Guru Charana Padma.
Page number
28. Page 28. Translation you can say. These are great, great songs by spiritual masters and
Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Vando Moi Savadhana Mate Moi Savadhana Jahara Prasade Bhai Bhavata Jiya Jahara Prasade Bhai Bhavata Jiya Krishna Prapti Hodja Prapti Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chetete Koriya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chetete Koriya Arana Kori Mane Asa Arana Kori Asa Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Uttama Gati Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asa Je Prasade Pure Sare Pure Sarva Asa Sare Pure Chaksudhana Dillote Jamme Jamme Prabhute Sudhana Dillote Jamme Jamme Prabhute Jnani Te Prapasito Bhakti Saharote Ape Jape Nasa Jate Bhakti Saharote Ape Jape Nasa Jate Bhakti Saharote Ape Jape Nasa Jate Bhakti Saharote Jivana, 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 Jivana Tua Padre Lore Nostra
Okay, so when we meet Sri Guru, spiritual master, that's a turning point of our journey. So it is said that it is as rare as for a turtle to come on the surface of the ocean through a certain circle on the surface. That circle is somewhere in one place in the vast, vast ocean. And for a turtle to come out and penetrate, the borders of that circle is as almost impossible. So we were coming and going through so many lifetimes, changing so many bodies, and finally, great fortune came to us. Bhava Pavarga Brahmatoya Dabhavesh. And that verse is saying that at the end of our sojourn of this material world, we get the association of holy devotees of the Lord, of spiritual master. That constitutes the end of our material existence. It means the material existence is about to be terminated. So it's a very, very rare opportunity. Nowadays, there are so many so-called gurus, so many pretenders. They don't belong to any, bona fide chain of disciplic succession. If they formally belong, sometimes they may not be qualified. That's also quite sad. But to find a Sadguru, a proper spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, it's a very, very, very rare opportunity. And there's another example of a man going around in a large, like Colosseum type of stadium, a Colosseum around, and there are many, many doors, 8,400,000 doors. A species of life, species of life, 8,400,000. Out of them, only 400,000 belong to the human type, from primitive people, cannibals, tribal people, to great saints. Huge range. So he was knocking. That man was a beggar. So he was knocking on every door. No one's opening. No one's giving anything. But behind one door, there were people. And they were able to give. But at that time, he was scratching his head, looking somewhere, as we say, spaced it out. He didn't do what he was supposed to do, and he missed the opportunity. So to receive a human body is a great rarity. After a long way of evolution, we may receive human form of life. But after having received human form of life, because of the bad influence of this age of Kali, quarrel and hypocrisy, we may miss that opportunity. We dedicate our life to some nonsense, to some process which is actually cannot be called a process, sense enjoyment, sense gratification. Or we can take some other path, not exactly bhakti, but some other paths which are not really benefiting us. We will speak a bit more about different paths. So that's why that person can miss opportunity. But when a real great fortune comes to the life of a living entity, then he needs bona fide spiritual master. How to recognize? That's a very common question. How to recognize bona fide spiritual master? In India, so many gurus. Many of them have, turbans. Many of them have long beards. Many of them have either vertical or horizontal tilaks or dots. And how to recognize who is who? There are some verses in Vedas, in scriptures, saying who is bona fide spiritual master, how to recognize him. So, tasmat gurun prapadyeta jigyasu shreya uttamam shreya shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanupa shamashrayam. There's a verse saying that Sri Guru, or bona fide spiritual master, must have 3 characteristics: 2 external and 1 internal. 2 external characteristics, although being external, are very important. That is knowledge and detachment. Detachment. So spiritual knowledge means he is the master of all Vedic truths. He knows all Vedic scriptures. He can uproot all the contrary conceptions. He can clear all doubts of anyone. And he gives spiritual knowledge as a mercy to disciples. Then the second quality is detachment. He is touching so many material objects. He might have pounds on his account, but that is not his. He knows that belongs to God. So therefore, he's like a transparent media, gives that to us, and everything he receives, he knows he's not the proprietor. He gives to the higher source. It's like glasses, Chakudan Dilaje, Janme Janme Prapuse, Purushottam just sang. His name is Purushottam. So he sang this song. Yes. In these words, it said that Chakudan Dilaje, he gives me transcendental vision. So if we are short-sighted or long-sighted like myself, we need glasses. So Sri Guru is that transparent media. He gives us glasses. He gives us glasses. Yeah? So we can study Vedic books ourselves. That's not bad. But without the proper guidance, without the realization Sri Guru gives, we will not understand. But when we hear from Sri Guru, that gives us that torchlight by which we can, like in darkness, we need a torchlight to read, isn't it? So Sri Guru is that torchlight. Without Sri Guru, we cannot read anything. And he speaks with realization about spiritual reality because he is actually from spiritual world. So if I've been to India, for example, or I live in India, I can come to you and I can tell what's it all about, how people live, etc., etc. So that's matter of experience, matter of realization. So if you have live realization, it's very, very interesting always to hear from a person who is realized. And that's why we go to professors who know about the subject matter practically. Or like you cannot become a surgeon by reading a medical book, isn't it? So you have to go to a professor and be trained by him practically in clinic with anatomic theater and all those things, by knowing human body straight and across, all throughout, by guidance. So Sri Guru is that person who gives guidance. And renunciation, yes. So knowledge and renunciation are 2 external qualities, and the internal quality is the realization of Krishna. So he has realized Krishna. Therefore, he can speak. So it means that his spiritual body is fully developed. There are different gradations, actually, of gurus. One spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Rakshakshidhar Goswami Maharaj, gave an example. One type of guru stands both legs, both of his feet are standing in spiritual world. So he steps down, makes one step to this material world, and he gives us loving hand, like a captain of the ship. Hey, suffering living entities, I know you're drowning, so please give me your hand. Or I'll send a life buoy to you. You hold on to that, and then a little boat, so you can come on board. So like this. So without his mercy, it's not possible. By our endeavors, not possible. So the other type is guru whose first leg is in this material world, and the second leg he's put already to spiritual world. That is still a practicing devotee, but very, very nicely practicing. Like he has achieved much success. The first type is eternally liberated. Sometimes they come here. They play part of human beings. Sometimes they come, rarely, but they do. But those who are in this world also, they can progress, and they can put one leg in the spiritual world. So they can also take the living entities from this world. Give me your hand, I'll put you down, because I put you there, because I'm already there. I know the path there, so I can take you there. And the third part, the third type is a person whose both feet, both legs are in this world, but his glance is one-pointedly directed towards spiritual reality. One-pointedly, like not left and right, no name and fame, no enjoyment, no beautiful women, no money, no nothing he's interested in. Fully, he's absorbed in spiritual reality. But his spiritual body is not yet fully developed, but he can be guru still. This is Madhyam Madhyam, Gurudev was saying, like medium class out of medium. But medium is very, very high class. So I think you've heard a lot of things already about spiritual world, spirituality, and devotion. So how to become a devotee? How to become a devotee? Well, first of all, you have to chant the holy name, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the process. So before we start chanting, just a few words about this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Most of you must have heard. Who hasn't heard? No one. You've heard. All of you have heard. So Maha means great. The word maxima, max, from that same root. It means big or great. So Maha, mantra, the word of two parts. Man means your mind. Man, mind, same root also. And Trayate means to deliver. So the great song for deliverance of your mind. That is Maha Mantra. Maha Mantra. There are many mantras. You see the names in the mantras are stable. They have the stable position. There's a great reason behind. You can see that the names in Mahamantra are quite symmetrical. You know? There are 8 pairs, right? There are 2 parts, and there are 3 names. It consists of. So, well, you've heard about Krishna. Krishna is the name of God, which means very attractive. In different languages, so I can speak and give class in 4 languages. So different languages, there are words similar to this Krish. Krish comes from Akarshana, means to attract. And Na means Ananda, means pleasure, means bliss. So one who is most attractive, Krishna means most attractive. And Na means he's giving Ananda, giving bliss. So if you see some attractive person in this world, he gives you pleasure by his beauty, by his qualities, by his skills. About them you know a bit later. But first of all, very beautiful externally, because he's like imbued with some, you know, beautiful either music or poetry or, you know, arts, and that's why externally also beautiful. So Krishna is all attractive and all beautiful because he's the source of all beauty. We sometimes hear Shri Krishna. You can hear Shri. Shri means beauty. Shri also his internal energy, right? So his internal energy is given in this mantra as Hare. Hare is vocative case. The nominative case is Hara. That is the internal energy. In personified form, she is here presented next to Krishna in the form of this wonderful girl. Her name is Radha. So in vocative case, Radhe. So in Vrindavan, everybody says Radhe, 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 in the abode of Krishna in this material world. Vrindavan, there is. And all of them say Radhe Radhe. Even a rickshaw driver, even a salesman, anyone, any simple person, instead of move away, move out, as they say in India, side, side, he doesn't shout side, side. He says Radhe Radhe, drin, 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 Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe means move away. Anything they say, they utter the holy name. And Rama means all joyous, giving all joy. He is absorbed in joy. He is absorbed in bliss, and he is giving that bliss. That's why his name is Rama. So when we chant on beats, or when we sing together, that is called kirtan, or congregational chanting, then we have to meditate. Well, first of all, there's one secret. Meditation comes spontaneously while chanting. As George Harrison said, great bhakta of Krishna, great devotee of Krishna, George Harrison. If you want to taste pudding, you have to, if you want to know the taste of pudding, you have to eat. You have to try it. So that's why we'll all try now. Maybe this is your first time, maybe not, I don't know. But as congregational chanting, probably this is your first time. So please pay attention. The meditation should be proper. We have to be praying to the holy name, means to the Supreme Lord and his energy, together. All attractive Supreme Personality of Godhead, all joyous Supreme Personality of Godhead, all attractive, alone merciful Supreme Energy of the Supreme Personality. Please engage me in your service. That's the proper thing. Not that give me, give me, give me, Give me bread and butter, and give me this, and give me that, daily bread. Well, daily bread will be given automatically. We should not be worried about that. And all our enemies will be forgiven, don't worry. All those things people normally ask for. And health will be also given by karma, given or taken away. What's to come by karma, that will come. We're not worried. By the way, this practice changes karma completely and subsequently nullifies. Your karma means your reactions will become zero. What karma can you have if you have spiritual body? There's no karma, because you're spiritual. Karma is the reality in this material world. I sometimes say jokingly, that's why it's black. It's karma, so you have to pay. And you may be shown a nice movie. Now people don't go to movies too much, but when I was young, I was watching a lot of movies. So when you come out after 2 hours of sitting, and you come out of that gray reality, it's terrible, terrible. You need to have an ice cream minimum, to be to come back, Such a nice movie, and stupid reality again. No, not again. Another movie, But when, as one Russian poet said, he said, I saw a new movie yesterday. I walked out of the hall the same as before. That's reality, there's nothing new. Well, there are some nice movies which can teach you something about some saints. We don't say, okay, something. But generally, people watch movies to forget about reality. But yoga is a very realistic process. Not to forget about reality, but to make reality beautiful. Make your everyday reality beautiful. So this practice of bhakti not only makes your reality, everyday reality, beautiful, but it makes you completely beautiful. And you are spiritual entity, actually. Yes, that spiritual body must evolve, must manifest with your beautiful eyes, your smile, your nose, and you will be looking like Jesus said, Lord created man according to his own image. Yes, that's absolute truth. So he is also like us. He looks like us. He's human-like form. Krishna, human-like form. Some incarnations, no. Tortoise. Yeah. What's it? Half man, half lion, Nrisimhadev. Have you heard? Nrisimhadev, half man, half lion. Yeah? Some of them fish, some Matsya, yes, Kurma, Varahadev, boar, who was saving the earth on his tusk. When earth was in the great ocean, then he was saving earth. So, but human form is most close to us because we're humans, and he's as if one of us. So that's why he's most attractive, and he created according to his image. That's true. So, but his body totally spiritual, and we have capacity to become completely spiritual as well by transcendental sound. But this transcendental sound must be given by Guru. That's what I wanted to comment a little bit before we start singing about the Guru. So the Guru has those three qualifications, you remember: knowledge, renunciation, and realization of Krishna. Three: realization of Krishna being most important. But when you come to Sri Guru, you have to properly behave, like you have to tadvidi pranipatina pariprashnena seva upadikshantite jnana jnanina tattva darshana. Pranipat, what does it mean? To offer obeisances. First, like, I know nothing. You have to recognize. Actually, complete fool. Know nothing. I was thinking I was so intelligent. I had so many degrees and diplomas and so many things, but actually zero, spiritually zero. We have to recognize. That's the first rule. Then Sri Guru will give you mercy. Pariprashna means you have to ask questions. There are 4 questions to ask. Great saint Sanatana Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya. This is Sri Chaitanya. Oh. It's Krishna himself, but he came as a devotee 538 years ago. So Sanatana Goswami asked, playing the role of an ordinary living entity, he asked, who am I? First question. Very important. Who am I? Well, we think we know who we are. We think, I'm Mr. John, for example, someone else. We're thinking, actually, no. This body of John will be finished after how many years? But I'm a great person. Who told you? Who told you? My followers, yes, your followers. Maybe for your followers you're great, but actually, what do you know? So you have to become very, very simple. You know that you don't know anything. Even that was Plato. Before his departure, he said, I know that I don't know anything. He said he was great Jnani, great philosopher. Great philosopher. Really, what he said. Was Socrates, so his name was Socrates. Yeah, that was Socrates. So anyway, so Vidi Pranipatidam Pariprashna, who am I? Why am I suffering? Second question. Why am I suffering? We have to recognize we're suffering. Even great rich people, they do suffer a lot from mental disorders and anything else. What's that called? Addictions. The more you have money, the more you have seductions, addictions, etc., etc. So many desires. You don't know what to do with that money. You're afraid it will be lost, stolen, etc., etc. So you're very, very disturbed, actually. So, when your great countryman George Harrison, great Bhakta of Krishna, he was attacked in his home by a killer. But you know what saved him? You know that. He said, Hare Krishna, when he was being attacked. He said, Hare Krishna. He shouted loud. That's why he was wounded, but not dead in 99. But still, he had cancer in a few years. He passed away. So anyway, you see, Krishna's name saved him because he's a bhakta, he's a devotee. Karma came, like bad karma came. Before we don't achieve the high level of chanting, medium, then all karma comes. We cannot do it, we cannot stop. That can be softened anyway by Krishna to some extent. So that's why George survived in that day. I was shocked. I was flying from India and the flight was delayed. I was watching TV news, and the news came about George Harrison. It was very end of 99. So anyway, so he was saved. So Tadvidi Pranipatina Pariprashnena, ask questions. So second, why am I suffering? The third question, what is the goal? And the fourth question, what is the path? So these 4 questions. If one asks these 4 questions, one can be called human being. Otherwise, two-legged animal, they called, Vedic wisdom calls two-legged animals, because they don't ask. They sit in pubs and they forget. They don't ask these questions. Who am I? I know I am Joe. I want to enjoy. That's it. They don't ask. But a thoughtful person will ask, and he will receive answer from spiritual master. So, Tadvidi Pranipa, this one, then, so spiritual master, Sri Guru, gives you mercy in the form of the holy name. So when you hear the holy name from him, then everything changes. Everything changes. But he must be true spiritual master. We're very happy, this little group. We're very happy because it's a great rarity, but we have that great fortune. We have met such spiritual master. I met mine, they met his, my instructing spiritual master now. My Gurudev left this planet 14 years ago, 2010, December. So we're in separation, but we're under great instructions by his true followers, Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Maharaj and Srimati Krishna Priya Thakurani in India, in Vrindavan. So when you receive that initiation, everything just changes completely. And because the seed of devotional service is within your heart, Bhakti Lata Bija. Brahmande Brahmita Bhagavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasada Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. By the mercy of Sri Guru, by unlimited mercy of the Supreme Lord, you can receive that Bhakti Lata Bija in your heart. So now finally the time has come for chanting, practical engagement. We'll sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra that is called Kirtan. First the leader sings, then the choir sings. So first, if you haven't chanted before, I think that some of you haven't. Have you chanted before? Who had chanted before? Okay, some people. Gary, you chanted before. So anyway, we'll just make some introduction for our new friends at the back. So first we'll chant 2 names, then 4 names, then 8, and then finally 16. Please look at the poster. Hopefully it will not fall down. It was attached. So 2 names, yes? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Very good. So now 4 names. Please pay attention. The order is different. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama. Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama. Hare Hare.
Very good. Now 8, half. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare.
Excellent. So now the whole Mahamantra. Try to remember also. I think you will remember after this singing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Very nice. At the end, I'll give you cards with this Mahamantra. It's my personal card, but it's written there also, so you can remember. And now let's try to sing. So first the leader and then the choir. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. We have, I think, one question here. Thank you, Radha. Okay, from Krishna and Lavanyam. Okay, thank you. So we will now fulfill our promise because we wanted to discuss about Bhagavad-gita a little bit. So I think you're also interested. So about half an hour we will discuss about Bhagavad-gita. There will be questions and vegetarian little feast. So this book, Bhagavad-gita, or Bhagavad means divine, Gita means song, is the synopsis of the whole body of Vedic books, Vedic literature, like a short encyclopedic dictionary, you can say. So a long time ago, there was a great war, which was described in the book Mahabharata, the Indian epic. So Mahabharata means Great India. So Bhagavad-gita is the central part of that Mahabharata, actually. Very, very special. When the author of the Vedas, Vyasadeva, was recording Vedas for people of Kali Yuga who lost their memory, before there were no books, people were remembering instantly what they were hearing from Sri Guru. At once in their heart, memory used to come. But then people lost memory and they were confused. They were confused. What to do, what not to do. So Krishna spoke the truth in the battle of Kurukshetra, in the battlefield, and Vyasadeva, the literary incarnation of Krishna, recorded afterwards. So there was great war. That war put an end to Dwapara Yuga, the Copper Age, and Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, started. So there were two clans, Kauravas and Pandavas, the sons of Kuru and the sons of Pandu. So the sons of Kuru, the sons of Dhritarashtra, the blind king, he was not only physically blind but also spiritually blind, were 100 sons. At the time there were many children, so the king had 100 sons. And the Pandavas were 5 brothers. One of them was the great warrior Arjun. So he was best warrior on earth at that time. So they were always conflicting. Pandavas were having very divine nature, and the Kauravas, especially the elder brother Duryodhana, was very bad, evil. So at the beginning, Krishna was trying to mediate, was trying to talk to both sides to escape the war, but that was not possible at all. So finally, there was a choice for both sides. Krishna was very powerful, and he had his army also. So he was able to actually win any battle single-handedly. He was using his mystic power, being the Supreme Personality. One battle he won just without a single warrior, himself. He did everything, stopped them and defeated them himself. But later, when the battle became inevitable, then the both sides had the choice to choose Krishna's army or to choose Krishna himself. Pandavas, the 5 brothers, Arjuna and his brothers, the senior one was Maharaj Yudhishthir. He became the emperor afterwards, emperor of the whole earth. They were very close to Krishna, so they chose Krishna. And since Kauravas, sons of Dhritarashtra, were not devoted, so certainly they chose the army. Okay, well, choose Krishna's army. So as a result, they had more soldiers and more equipment, chariots, elephants, horses, and all those types of weapons. They had 11 phalanx, and Pandavas had only 7. So 7 great Akshohinis, means phalanx, in front of 11. So 11 phalanx has significance. This is like 10 senses. We have 10 senses, and mind number 11. So 10 senses. We have to curb them. We have to direct them, and we have to master them, become masters of the senses. So 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Working senses are hands, legs, voice, rectum, and genitals. And knowledge acquiring senses are eyes, tongue, nose, ears, and skin, touch. So thus we know the world around us. And the mind is the director. His functions are thinking, feeling, willing. I think means that's true. I feel means it's perfect. So we think. So you can see on this, especially this picture, this is a big edition of our Gurudev, our spiritual master. You see, Krishna is the charioteer. He loved Arjuna so much that Supreme Lord became a charioteer. And Krishna, Arjuna was the warrior. So he was shooting his powerful arrows. So actually, the chariot is a great symbol. Chariot is the body, our body. We're the riders of the chariot, and the the person who sits on the chariot, that's the soul. The soul rides on the body like on a machine. So the charioteer is intelligence. So the soul has intelligence, and by the direction of intelligence, the soul acts. So when intelligence is completely spiritual, then intelligence acts according to the soul's real needs. Then the reins within the hands of the charioteer represent the mind. So the mind and intelligence are two different categories. So mind is instrumental. Mind is the master of the senses. He's like, his function is purely technical, actually. So intelligence directs the mind. And the five senses, five horses. Sight, the smell, what else? Touch, taste, and hearing. Yes, so five senses. So when the mind is not controlled, it means that the reins within the charioteer go loose. Means intelligence is very weak. Like charioteer is drunk that day. So horses go in the pit, and the whole chariot becomes broken. So like a drunk man who breaks his body like this, direct parallel. So that's what unintelligent people do. But Bhagavad-gita teaches you yoga. 18 chapters of Bhagavad-gita, 18 types of yoga. Krishna explains to Arjuna. And we'll speak a little bit more about yoga a bit later, but before the battle started, already the conches gave the sound, tumultuous sound, boo, on two sides was turmoil, the great sound on both sides. They were divine also, and the sound was such that everybody was trembling. It's a rapture, fight is about to start, like this. So then the fight was about to start, but Krishna started speaking to Arjuna. Arjuna asked Krishna to drive the chariot in the midst of the two armies. I want to see who's on the opposite side, Arjuna said. And actually, since they were cousin brothers, they were all relatives. That war was just terrible. How many millions, you remember? 400,000, like many millions of souls. I'm a bad mathematician, sorry, I forgot the number, but like the great amount of warriors were. And according to the plan of the Supreme, they all were, almost all were dead at the end. 18 days of the battle, 18 days. So Arjuna was very apprehensive. Oh, what's going to happen? He could see his relatives, his brothers, like even now in Indian families, cousin is like brother, they don't make distinction. So my brothers, Arjuna became very morose. He said, I can see my brothers, I can see my masters, I can see Bhishma, I can see Drona. Drona was the archery teacher for the whole Pandavas and Kauravas. Bhishma was like grandfather of the dynasty. Bhishma was a great personality. He's one of the 12 great authorities in the universe, Bhishma. So he's on the list of great authorities, but he was letting his arrows shooting into Krishna's transcendental body. Why? Because Srila Jiva Goswami, one saint, commenting this, he said that was according to Krishna's plan, and that's why he took some demoniac type of mood, and he was shooting to Krishna, and Krishna was really wounded and really bleeding, even. Yes, because of Bhishma had such a power, like terrible. He could finish all the armies of the enemy instantaneously. There was a period Bhishma was killing everyone anyway, like for 10 days, I think, out of 18. He took a vow, okay, I'm going to finish them. And he was... Then finally, Pandavas had only 2 Akshauhinis, I think, at the end, out of 7 phalanx. And Kauravas were still strong. So anyway, it was a very dramatic battle. So, but at the beginning, Arjuna saw his warriors, his relatives, his gurus, and he became very morose. So, I have to kill them now. If I kill them now, I'll finish the dynasty. If I finish the dynasty, then the traditions will be killed according with the dynasty. Well, there's no dynasty. Or dynasty, you say in English, no? Dynasty, British. Dynasty, there's no tradition. And there's no tradition means no culture. No culture means women become degraded. When women become degraded, they bring up undesirable progeny. That's what happens. So then everything becomes degraded, everything becomes hellish. So Arjuna was like, with head in his hand, like this. At the end of chapter 1, this is chapter 1, observing the armies, the introductory chapter. So then chapter 2 starts. So we'll start it today. No? So Arjuna is still speaking that, finally he's saying, I'm not going to fight. And he lowered his hands, put down his weapons. So then Krishna started speaking. Oh, Aryan means the great representative of Aryan race, the real Aryan. Oh, Arjun, oh son of Bharata, great warrior. Your behavior is not befitting an Aryan, a great righteous warrior. You're speaking righteous words, learned words. You lament for what is not worthy of grief. Those who truly learn it lament for neither for living nor for the dead. Why? Because there's soul, and the soul is immortal. So Krishna starts speaking about the soul. He speaks. The soul is fully transcendental. The soul cannot be killed by any types of weapon, cannot be moistured by water, cannot be withered by the wind, cannot be burned by fire, cannot be pierced by any types of weapons, cannot be harmed. The soul is fully spiritual. It's a spiritual particle. In the Vedas, the measurement of the soul is given. Yes, the measurement of the soul. 1/10,000th of a tip of a hair. When you take a hair, any hair, and divide into 100 parts, one tip of hair. So every one of the 100 parts divided into 100. So 10,000. Little spark, but very spiritual, like completely transcendental. The soul neither takes birth nor does he die, nor is affected by the repeated growth and dwindling of the body. He is unborn, eternal, and ever existing. Though primal, he remains ever youthful. When the body is destroyed, the soul is not annihilated. So nobody can be killed, and no one can kill anyone. That's what Krishna is saying in the very beginning. And like we devotees, we know this truth theoretically, but when the question comes, to be or not to be, then we're like, am I my body or am I my soul? It's a great question. So our task is to cultivate the consciousness of the soul, not the consciousness of the body. That is the beginning of Bhakti Yoga. So at the very beginning, Krishna speaks about the soul. He glorifies the soul in 15 or more verses. Many wonderful words. He glorifies the soul. The soul is indivisible, insoluble, and cannot be burned or dried. He is eternal, all-pervading, permanent, non-moving, and ever-existing. He is unmanifest and inconceivable, and being free from the 6 types of transformations, birth and death, we were saying, birth, growth, maturity, creating byproducts, dwindling, dying. 6. Immutable, therefore immutable. The soul is on the machine. The machine is changing, but we're thinking, I am my machine, or I am my mind. If I want some ice cream on a hot day, then I think, my soul wants ice cream. Not your soul. Your tongue directed by your mind. Intelligence is silent. Intelligence would say, no, you will have sore throat. You will have some fever. But still, my heart wants, my heart. I did not your heart, your mind understand like this. So we're directed by the mind, but we forget about the soul. So in many, many words, Krishna is saying those truths. So finally, Arjuna accepts that, and he says, I don't know anything. Actually, you are my master. Please direct me now. Arjuna gives up. Arjuna is fully bewildered. So that is the position of the soul in this world. I am completely bewildered. When you start to understand that your mind cannot control anything, by your own endeavor, you cannot achieve perfection, that is a very good moment to pick up Bhagavad-gita. So we're, how to say, advertising in that way. Please pick up a copy today. It's a nice edition, pocket edition. And also the commentaries are not so big, by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of our acharyas. And you will really, really get so much benefit by that. So the soul is very amazing. Nobody can understand him. Somebody look at the soul as amazing. Somebody hear as him, the soul, as amazing. Others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand at all what is the soul. So, but the soul is eternal anyway. So Arjuna, you are a kshatriya, means a warrior. So your duty is to fight. A duty. Right? So this is a very important line in the Bhagavad-gita. Do your duty. This is called karma yoga. Karma means activity. Karma means generally activity. So everyone has one's karma. Someone's a teacher, someone's a worker, someone's a musician, someone's like this. So this is called karma. So if you produce nice results, good karma you get. Others are happy. You build a nice house, you play nice music, good karma. Your music, especially when it's devotional, it's higher than karma also. It's already bhakti. But when you dedicate your results of your work to the Supreme, that is called karma yoga. So tomorrow we'll continue with chapter 3, which is karma yoga. Welcome everyone. Tomorrow in another place there will be a meeting, day after tomorrow also. So you consider your duty, right? And simultaneously concentrate upon your soul. That is called karma yoga. What brings benefit to your soul? When you do a duty and dedicate the results to the Supreme. Concerning the soul, there is individual soul. It's called Atma in Sanskrit. Atom, the Greek word, has the same root because soul is infinitesimally small. We were saying 1/10,000th of a tip away. But there's also super soul, Param Atma. Param means super, super soul in everyone's heart. The Vedas give example, 2 birds sitting side by side on a tree, 2 different branches. The soul on one branch and the super soul on the other branch. Who is the super soul? That is the Lord in the heart. So that is very, very important to know, that apart from ourselves being an infinitesimal, small spiritual spark as the individual soul, we also have in our heart the Supreme Lord as the witness. That is super soul. And what people normally know as intuition, that is pure activity of the super soul, the Lord in the heart. The Lord in the heart is the witness of every activity of us. We cannot hide anything from super soul. Paramatma cannot hide. Nothing can be hidden. He sees everything. He knows everything. So sometimes we do bad thing and then conscience, doesn't give us any peace. Oh, I've done that. Activity of super soul. Aha, what have you done? See, right? Intuition. The Supreme Soul, Super Soul, helps every living entity according to his desires. So intuition helped a great musician to create a symphony. Intuition helps an architect to design a phenomenal project. Intuition helps a dog to find a bone, yes, because that's a desire. You know? What do you desire? A thief sees an unlocked balcony. Super soul helps get in there. That's a super soul. Because the desire, you know, sinful, but super soul. Super soul is generally neutral, fulfilling all desires of all living entities since time immemorial. But when a soul becomes interested in spiritual matters, then the turn point, that is the turn point. Change is there. So super soul becomes stops being neutral. Super soul helps to progress spiritually. Go to those people. Take that book. Read. Oh, listen to that class. You know. So pushes from within. That is a very, very important moment when the first bird starts looking at the second bird. The soul looks at the super soul. Normally the bird was just pecking the fruit of the tree. Sometimes sweet, sometimes bitter, sometimes good karma, sometimes bad karma, pecking. When a little chicken takes birth from an egg, it once starts pecking. It knows his thing, you know. Tick, 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 tick. That's it. So human being also working, enjoying, again working, home, job, home, like this. But then question comes, why? What's next? What's the essence of this? Oh, probably God exists. Yeah, I think so, because some force is above me. So people start thinking like this. Or, for example, I gave one class in Lithuania, my home country. So, oh my God, one God building, not God, but rather spiritual nephew, like I can call spiritual nephew. His wife, he brought, his sister's husband came. The sister came with her husband. On that day, the husband had a car accident, like terrible accident in which he survived. Half car was just destroyed. The half he wasn't sitting in, he was alone. He was driving. In Europe, it's on the left side, and the right side was completely smashed. Some idiot left his vehicle on the road. So it was 100 kilometers an hour, just crashed into that. And half car was just done, was non-existent anymore. But he survived, not a scratch. And he came to the program. It was very easy to speak to the guy, very easy to speak to him on that day. Then he forgot everything. I was asking, how is that? How is the husband of your sister? Oh, no, he's engaged in a project, this, that, it's ordinary life. But when the death shows his face, then people start, God, where is God? They are thinking. Super soul then, helps them to think about spiritual matters and life and death. So, yeah, this is about the soul. Then, okay, but you have to do your duty, because if you don't do your duty, then you'll be a coward. And a coward is, like in Vedic society especially, if somebody escapes the battlefield, it's worse than death. Worse than death. Because if you die in the battlefield, you go to heaven. Even now, I heard from my instructing spiritual master, those who die in the battlefield, unconsciously, president said, okay, go fight. They go to heaven. Even. Because they give their life for practically a reason they don't understand why. It's often, because when a person is evil and consciously goes to kill, that's another thing. But it's then he goes to heaven. So Krishna is saying, if you're defeated on the battlefield, you go to heaven. And if you win, then you obtain a kingdom. So what's the reason for your despondency? Why don't you want to fight? So Krishna is, cunningly speaking from completely material point of view, karma kanda, we say, even from that point of view. So, okay, so far, Krishna is saying, I was giving you analytical knowledge about the soul, super soul, material elements. Now I will speak to you about Bhakti Yoga. Chapter 2 is how to say, synopsis of all Bhagavad-gita. In chapter 2, so many things Krishna is saying. It's very large, more than 70 verses. And Krishna is speaking about different types of yoga. So he's saying, okay, analytical study, Sankhya Yoga. No, this is the name of the chapter, actually, by the way. But now I'll speak about Bhakti Yoga. I'll teach you about Bhakti, the devotion, yoga of devotion. So on this path of Bhakti, means we say hearing, chanting, remembering, all endeavors are not fruitless. They're always bringing fruit. And this is the bank which is eternal. You put a deposit into the bank and it will be there eternally. Even if in this life you lose your body, then circumstances change and everything changes, then your soul will be existing forever. And the devotion you are practicing towards the Lord, bank, you will always have those results with you in all the next lifetimes. So, on the path of bhakti, in the path of devotion, you have to have resolute intelligence, resolute in purpose. Those who resolute in purpose achieve their goal very quickly, and those who are not resolute, their intelligence is many branched. So in every endeavor, those people who go straight and go with full faith, they achieve result very quickly. You can choose any sphere. That is true. For example, I'm a great admirer of homeopathy, and homeopathy helped me so much. In homeopathy, it's very important to have faith. Then those medicines work. It's not mechanical, like in allopathic medicine, where you just take and it works and removes the symptoms. But you have to be faithful. So in this process also, there is an object and there is a wave of this energy. In every aspect of this life. So there's an endeavor and there's mood behind that endeavor. So the endeavor is devotion. So if we practice devotion, we need to have great motivation and great faith. So that faith will bring us like on wings to the desired results very quickly. That's what Krishna is saying here. Yeah. So those people who don't see the true purpose of the Vedas clearly, their intelligence is many-branched. For example, a gardener knows pretty well how to water trees. So he waters the roots. Something on the leaves also, but mostly roots. That's the main source. From the very childhood we know that we have to put our food into mouth. Mommy puts spoonful after spoonful into our mouth. Not any other part of the body, nose, ears. No, mouth. That's the source. It's an outlet, the right outlet. So therefore, we have to dedicate our endeavors to the Supreme Lord, not to 33 million demigods. There are 33 million demigods in Indian pantheon, headed by Lord Shiva. Shiva. So Shiva is a very mysterious personality, but still he belongs to the subsequent category of demigods, mostly. Although he has his spiritual abode as well. It's very mysterious personality. But we have to dedicate our endeavors to the right source. To the source means to the roots and to the mouth. Then the food will go to the right direction and then will be nurturing all the body. Then all the tree will get nourishment from the roots. So those foolish persons devoid of discrimination or attached to enjoyment and opulence, those whose minds have been captured by these flowery words of the Vedas, do not attain the resolute intelligence because they worship demigods. They start watering leaves, flowers, fruits, different other parts of it. Or a person starts to eat with his hand, with his foot, some unreasonable activity. So this material nature has three forces. Three forces. This is another important thing for us to learn today. So these three forces are called modes, otherwise gunas. Guna in Sanskrit means rope or quality. Quality also. Quality, three qualities. So this material nature has three qualities. Have you heard before, Gary? No? The goodness, passion, and ignorance. Three. Vanessa heard. No? Goodness, passion, ignorance. So anything we see in this material world belong to that one of those qualities, or combination of, most commonly, combination of three. Some of the phenomena are predominated by goodness, some by passion, and some by ignorance. Anything, actually. Bhagavad-gita describes at the end so many objects, like food, like determination, like desire, etc. Many things in three modes. So most of you are vegetarians, so you are automatically predominated by sattvic food and sattvic thoughts. Sattvic means, sattva means goodness, rajas means passion, and tamas means ignorance or darkness. So foods in mode of goodness are fresh, nurturing, giving so much energy, optimism. Your life becomes long, health becomes excellent, freshness, fruits and organic and all those things. So that's sattva. Then rajas, anything coming with too, too salty, too sour, too spicy, too hot, too pungent, too bitter, too sweet, everything. So that's harmful for health. It gives you diabetes. It gives you, what's that? High blood pressure, low blood pressure, all those things. You become diseased. Your stomach just explodes because. So also depends on the constitution of your body. Sometimes you remember your needs, like Indians, so much chili, because their bodies need. For us, this is like shocking, but for them, okay. And ignorance, food and ignorance. First of all, products of killing, meat of all kinds, eggs, then anything stale, old, spoiled, like not fit for consuming anymore. So that is ignorance. So those people in goodness are very altruistic. They help others. They like pure places, how to say, ecological places, etc., etc. They like fresh food, etc. People in passion, they want business, they want money, very attached to the opposite sex, very attached to extremes of all kinds, adrenaline, so like that. And people in ignorance, full of ignorance, sleepiness, forgetfulness, aggression, what else? Violence, yes. False ideas, intoxication, like this, craziness, like this. So that is mood of ignorance. So, Arjuna, get beyond those modes. Krishna is saying here. Get beyond those modes. Many things he's saying, many yogas he's giving you. So Arjuna is listening and thinking, I cannot do that, I cannot do that. I'm a warrior, I'm a warrior, I'm a warrior. So finally at the end he says, okay, I can offer you obeisances. Offer your basis. So finally, in the central part of Bhagavad-gita, Krishna shows his universal form. Krishna shows his universal form and he says, look, Arjuna, this is my universal form. And Arjuna sees millions of mouths with fire emanating from them. He sees millions great, great personalities who are actually parts of Krishna came from his transcendental body like this. So he sees that vision, and then he falls on his knees and saying, and starts praying, and finally Krishna is saying that only those who are imbued with devotion, they can see that transcendental form. So constant meditation on the Supreme Lord by chanting of His holy name, that is called devotion of Bhakti Yoga. That's the process. Many people surprised, oh, you're not doing any postures. We do actually, we can do, but that's not the main practice. For health, okay, we can do. But the main thing is chanting. This is the process which works in Kali Yuga. So many, many things in the second chapter. We'll continue to discuss second chapter tomorrow, and we'll take this third chapter also. So at the end, Arjuna asks a question. When Krishna speaks about Buddhi Yoga, the yoga of one-pointed intelligence, right? So be performing devotion, but with one-pointed intelligence. So who is that wise man absorbed in one-pointed intelligence? Krishna is asking. Arjuna is asking. Sorry. And Arjuna. When I'm tired, I mix Krishna and Arjuna. Sorry. So Krishna is answering. Completely is answering in 18th chapter. Is saying, Brahmabhuta prasannatmana shochiti nakanksati sama sarveshu subhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. You're silent like fishes. Why? You have to know these verses. Okay, so Brahmabhuta. So those great sages absorbed in the absolute reality, right? They are never lamenting, and they're never desirous of anything. They're fully satisfied within their minds. Yeah? They are seeing friends and enemies with equal vision. Everybody's a friend, like this, because they have no false ego. Everybody's giving respect. So, and they can serve me one-pointedly, which is most important. So that is the basis for Bhakti Yoga, to train your intelligence like this, one-pointed, to be one-pointed. But how will we become one-pointed? By association with saints, Sadhu Sangha, Shri Guru. Shri Guru will give you all mercy in the form of the holy name. So you receive the holy name. And you become qualified also for a one-pointed practice. You will not be deviating left and right. You will be always concentrated, very, very nicely practicing this great yoga called Bhakti Yoga. So we're very happy already after 8 o'clock, so we have to gradually finish and give you great vegetarian refreshments today. And first, I want to ask if there are any questions from the audience and from our electronic also audience, and then we can discuss something. You can feel free. This is like a seminar, so we can discuss many things, and then we'll offer you some books, and finally I will sing last kirtan. We'll sing Hare Krishna again together. Any questions? Most welcome. Okay, don't be shy. If you have any questions, then that's all right. So if you wish to start practice individually on beads, we have beads for you. You can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra individually. And we're accordingly inviting you to join us tomorrow and day after tomorrow in different other places. You have that information, right? So Madhurika will show you. Her name is Madhurika. She will show you the information for the programs, and please pick up a copy of Bhagavad-gita, our great request for the donation. So Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai, Shri Bhakti Yoga ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So maybe questions will come up later, and now we'll sing last kirtan, 5 minutes we'll sing. Yes, so if you forgot, just look up the poster. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Haribol means to glorify the Lord's name. So Haribol means glorifying. Haribol, okay? So we'll sing together so that you know what to sing at the end. This is the final, no? Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, Haribol, Nitai Gaura, Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, Haribol, Nitai Gaura, Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai, Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Gaur Premanande. So, thank you so much. If there are some questions still, you can share. Otherwise, at Prasadam is ready. Downstairs, no? downstairs. So, yeah, in the lounge we'll take prasadam together and discuss without cameras and microphones. Gaur Premanande, thank you so much. See you tomorrow.